I am here at the Coney Island History Project to meet with Ralph Perfetto. Ralph is a former investigator. In fact, he was the chief investigator for the New York City Public Advocate's Office. And while he is now retired from that job, he is still an advocate. He's advocating for pedestrians mainly.
There are bicyclists who obey the rules, but a great majority of them violate the rules. Earlier this week, Mayor de Blasio was on TV saying they're going to have strict enforcement on the truck drivers. There should be enforcement on the bike owners. To begin with, I believe that they should be registered like automobiles. You own a bike, you should have to pay for registration, so when they see the number on your bike, you can't scoot away. And you're liable for a ticket or violation just like a motorist is. In that same TV broadcast, a biker, a senior citizen, said, you know, we pay taxes. And my reply to him is, the motorist pays a lot more taxes to go into the city, the workers, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a lot of hogwash. And what has happened, unfortunately, Transportation Alternatives has handcuffed our police. Our police can't give out summonses because they are there with the fact that it's green and it's good for the environmentalists. Listen, there are people who have to make a living and drive into the city. All right? There are also patients who can't take a train into the city. People who need medication need to go to a hospital. And this is baloney. And the bikers violate it all the time. You can see them going across. They stop at a corner when there's a red light. They look at either direction and then go across on the red light. Well, the light may change, and then they're in the path of a motorist. So the motorist is guilty for hitting them, and that's bad. There should be enforcement. I'll tell you, when I was in the public advocate's office, and this has to be at least over 15 years ago, when Transportation Alternatives was first coming to recognition, they sanctioned a bike-a-thon at Pelham Park in the Bronx. As that crowd of bikers were coming out of the park, there was a frail elderly man standing by. One of the bikers hit him, knocked him down, his head hit the curb, had other injuries. He ultimately died as a result of those injuries. And they don't mention any of that. Also, several years ago, because I feel that the bike riders have to obey the same laws as a motorist has to do, and I went after them because if we, or if I, you, or anybody else as a motorist has to stop at a red light, and if he passes that red light, he's going to get a $115 summons. Well, that bike should get a summons. You know?
After I left Ralph and walking through Coney Island, I bumped into a fellow named Reggie, and he says he used to be one of those rogue riders that Ralph's talking about.
I am a reformed jerk. I rode bikes on the sidewalks, ran people over, act like they wasn't there, act like the world was mine, and that's just not a way to be. You know, once you get older and you have children and you want to teach them the right way, so you don't want them to make the same mistakes you made. And you know, it's good to be cautious and share the sidewalk, ride your bike in the street. You understand? Like, it's a lot. You can hurt people really bad. Even though a pedal bike may not seem like it may hurt much, it hurts just as much as a motor vehicle. You know, being hurt is being hurt.
That's when I decided to go to Manhattan, to 6th Avenue north of 23rd Street, where one of the, at the time of this recording, 17 bicyclists have been killed so far this year. What's very interesting about this particular location, you can see that this memorial where the cyclist was hit is on the east side of the street. But there's no bike lane on the east side of the street. But there is on the west side. And as you can see, it's really not that unusual for bicyclists to ignore the bike lane that's put up for their safety and ride in the middle of the street. Ralph's point, and that of other advocates, is that while it's good to promote bicycle usage in New York City, it's also important to enforce the laws and ensure that the bicyclists drive in a safe manner. Don't ride on the sidewalks, don't go the wrong way on a one-way street, don't ride where you're not supposed to be, and don't run red lights.